Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers! Good morning. 83 degrees here in Long Island, New York. It's like April 13th. Incredible. It almost seems like the last time you guys saw me, it was still cold and I had a jacket on, you know? Today I'm in shorts and flip-flops as I feel comfortable the way this is. And gonna get some vitamin D today. This is the engine that I took off of the MTD Green Garden Way by Troy-Bilt that I picked up with the sketchy truck for the first time. And I think this has no compression at all. I mean, it just spins and spins and spins. There's no compression at all. So I'm curious as to see why there's no compression, whether it's the valve stuck open. I think it's a broken connecting rod, but I don't think it's bad, which means that it's salvageable. I think it broke closer to the crankshaft than on the top, you know what I mean? So if it broke more closer to the piston, that rod would be swinging around as you're testing it, causing all kinds of trauma to the short block. But if it broke near the crankshaft, that rod stays put and the crankshaft just continues to spin and it doesn't cause any internal damage around the engine block. So if I take this apart and find out that that's the case, we may just need a connecting rod, replace it, and this engine could be good to go and we'll put it back on that thing. If it's non-repairable and you cannot rebuild this anymore, we're gonna take a 20 horsepower Kohler Courage that I fixed a while back. It ran. It's a 20 horsepower Kohler Courage engine and it runs. It just leaks oil out the back from two cracks due to the top sump cover of a Kohler Courage, as you guys know. I have plenty of videos on that, so that'll explain why they're so prone to cracks in the back. But I JB welded it pretty well and tightened the top sump bolt, so I think it's pretty well encased. So that engine I think will run. So we're gonna put that on there if this is no good. So I'm gonna start taking this apart in time lapse and we'll find out why this has no compression. I think it's a broken connecting rod and the brake is close to the crankshaft. Okay, that was lickety split. That was fast. I removed that cover really fast. I'm gonna try to get you guys really close so you can see exactly what I see for the first time. Because I'm like that, see? I care about you, the viewership. That good? That's pretty good. All right. Actually, there's a shadow. It's much better, huh? Yeah. All right. So what do we see so far? We see a piece of connecting rod right here. And it's a good sign because there's threads on them, meaning this is a break close to the crankshaft. Or it could be the part in the piston, but I doubt it. So that's one piece right there. Here you can see another piece, and look, sure enough, it's very close to where that end goes onto the connecting rod. We have another piece over here. And here's the governor. Top of the morning to you, governor! And I could see that the governor is damaged. There's a little bit of plastic trauma scrapage here. So this governor is Dunsky. These are very cheap and I have a lot of them. So that's Dunsky, okay? No governor. Here's the cam. That looks like some kind of a key. Okay, let's see if the cam is good. Oh. This will be hard to do because I didn't take the flywheel off. I can see the lever for the camshaft already. So that's no good. I'm gonna try to turn this. I'm gonna, so that it's off of the valve so it's not putting pressure on. And rotate it until the camshaft is loose. hell with it. So it makes a couple of marks, so what? There we go. There's the camshaft with, that's what it was. This little piece was from here. The ACR, automatic compression release, is Dunsky. So the cam is Dunsky. So now we're in it for a connecting rod and a camshaft. You know, to take this whole thing apart, I have to flip it the other direction and get the flywheel off so we can get this off. Otherwise you can't really see, you know. Actually you can. I can see the piston right over here. If we want to do this right and repair it, I'd have to take it out so we can really see. But it looks like my calculations were correct, that I don't see any trauma around the short block. The short block is intact. I don't see, I mean, a few scrapes here and there, but no big chunks taken out of it, you know. Tappets are good. Here's the governor lever. Seems to move okay. Could move a little better, but it's okay. Yeah, to get all this stuff out, we'd have to take the flywheel off. So let me do that in time lapse. Okay, my camera died because apparently it's too hot in the sunlight, so I had to put it in the shade, so a little further away. Anyway, it was a pain in the butt to get the flywheel off because the bottom was already off and the engine is not secured onto a tractor. It's much easier to take the flywheel off when everything is secured onto the tractor. So everything was wobbling around, moving around. With the bottom sump cover off, the crankshaft was moving, so you couldn't get good leverage. But anyway, it finally did give, and we have a good flywheel with all the magnets intact. All the teeth look good, magnet looks good. So this will sell for about $35 with shipping and stuff, $15. So like, I'll sell this for $50, spend about $14 or something to ship it, and then I'll net like 30 bucks out of it, maybe. These flywheels are worth money, so if you guys throw them away like my friend Nick from Belport does, you're losing out on some dough. Here's the camshaft. Okay, so look. The block is good, okay? There doesn't appear to be any trauma to it. However, you guys could take a look over here. When I took it off, the starter was so wobbly loose and it just fell off because both these holes that secure the starter on there are stripped. And actually there's a piece of this that's missing off of here, and a guy tried to drive another bigger bolt in there and all the threads are like smooth. So you couldn't secure this starter on here strong, you know, very securely. So that's a big problem. All right, so I priced out connecting rods for this, and they're all about $50 to $80. So $50 to $80 for that. You got the problem with the starter. You can't really securely put on the starter again. So and also cam, $25 for the cheapest cam. So we're talking like $120 already. So you guys know me. I ain't doing that. There ain't no freaking way I'm doing that, you know. But I'm trying to take this connecting rod out with the piston, but it's pretty stuck. I'll have to take the head off. Okay, there's some pretty good compression here. It's coming. It's good compression, which means the rings are good. I can't even pull it out. I feel a lot of air. Resistance, I mean. Here it comes. And it was exactly what I said. The brake was at the bottom of the piston, bottom of the connecting rod. Therefore, the connecting rod wasn't swinging around, causing all kinds of damage onto it. And there we go. So this is a good piston. Smooth. Hardly any wear on the piston. So it's good. Oh, here we go. Here's a pretty good scratch. I can't feel it, but then again, I am wearing gloves.
Henry, why are you wearing gloves?
Because I realize when you do engine work, your hands get completely trashed. So it's a good pit. I don't know. Probably not. I wouldn't try to sell it. I have so many anyway. But as you can see, look, there's where the bolt goes in to secure the end onto the connecting rod. It's a very small connecting rod. It says 17 on it and 28 through 31. That's I need a connecting rod for a 28 to 31 cc engine, which is this 16.5 horsepower Briggs single cylinder overhead valve. This little connecting rod, I've looked. This model is the engine model is 310707. I looked it up, and there's no good connecting rods out there that are less than 50 bucks. So you guys know I'm not going to spend 50 bucks on that. Nor am I going to spend $25 on a new cam. If it was just the cam, yeah, then I would do it. But if you're talking about that, and plus you can't put the starter on, you know what I mean? You get more money selling this, the parts, such as the flywheel. Like I said, 50 bucks. This starter I could always keep because I always need starters when I'm rebuilding things, right? You assume that the starter works. A starter costs about, the third-party fake copies are like $25, $30. This crankshaft is actually in good shape. The journal is a little bit rough, but it's not rough, but it looks rough, right? It looks rough, but yet it's smooth. But I am wearing gloves too, so. But it doesn't look bad. So this could be smoothed out by some muric acid, or you could just take some fine sandpaper in a strip and go like that, and put some oil on there. You could get this journal to be nice and smooth. So that would be good to use in the future for parts, but I haven't been really rebuilding engines because at my old age, I don't have the patience for it anymore. And especially if it costs too much money, I won't do it. You know? So all in all, would you say the block is good? The block is good, except for this part. How are you going to have a good block if you have a busted, you know, you can't put a starter on here? So I think it would be much more worthwhile for me. And again, I'm saying for me, if I just stripped this down and sold it for parts, which means I'm not going to rebuild this. Got a carburetor here with the linkages. You got the throttle bracket, which I have sold a few of these. A good head, assumingly. Good magneto, good stator. Assumingly a good starter. Good crankshaft with counterbalance. I mean, maybe a good piston too, you know what I mean? But this is bad. Flywheel's good. Sump cover. I do not see any damage on the sump cover, so I will save the sump cover in case one day I need it. So, oh, I found the bolt. This bolt over here was in place of, this was one of the starter bolts, kind of fabricated, you know what I mean? One to get it in, the bolt over here to create a spacer because it was too long. And it didn't really hold well because it was super loose, wobbly. So I'm going to strip the stator, magneto, take the carburetor off. I'm going to take everything off, including the head, save that stuff in a box, and I'll list all this stuff for sale, I guess. Okay, as you guys saw, I stripped everything down. It is a good block here, but like I said, you can't really fix that because it's molded into the block. So because you can't secure the starter on there very well, it has reliability problems. The bore is smooth. Yep, it's a good bore. So it's a shame because this is a good block other than that starter attachment part. So this is going to the trash for sure. Got a good stator here. This is a regular dual circuit stator, has a diode on it. There's a little bit of wire wear here, but you could use this for a future application. You could sell these for probably $25. The choke linkage off the carburetor is always useful. This is a Nicky for Briggs, so it's an original Nicky, not a cheap Chinese one. I have so many of these. We'll just keep that. This is the oil breather. I mean, it doesn't take up a lot of space. I just throw all the shit that I want to keep in a box, you know, no big deal. Governor is done. Like I said, the sump cover is in good shape. No gouges or scrapes anywhere, so we could use this. These parts here that attach the cam and the crank are in good shape, as well as the area where the balancer goes. Yeah, so this is a good sump. They don't sell for very much on eBay, and shipping it costs too much to. I mean, you have to get $14 at least for the shipping. So what are you going to list it for? You know, who's going to pay more than $5, $10 for it? So what are you going to do? You're going through all that trouble to ship something. Will they pay $25 for it? You never know. But you know, I have so many sumps. I don't know what to do with it. This is assumingly a good head. I opened the valve cover off just to see the condition of the rocker arms and stuff, and everything looks the same, normal. I made a mistake. This is not a 310707. It's a 313707. It makes a little difference, not a lot. You're going to be surprised by this. Where did I put it? Oh, okay. The gasket is in good shape. Usually it breaks right here. There's a little bit of wear, but in a pinch, you could actually use this. You know, put some RTV silicone around there. You know, I mean, you could get away with using it still. I know you shop owners and technicians are going, no, you can't use that. In a pinch from a garbage pick and a backyard home mechanic wrencher. Not that I'm a mechanic, I'm not. I'm just saying, if you worked at home and you're in a pinch, that would work, okay? It would. You know why? Because I've done it before, that's why. So it's a good head. I'll keep the head for something. Also the exhaust bolts for the gasket, for the exhaust pipe that goes to the muffler. I'm always missing those. I don't know. And got a good starter here, assumingly. You can only assume, right? Because the only trauma we have here is the broken connecting rod. It has nothing to do with the starter or the carburetor or anything else. So the piston would still work because I tried pulling it out and it was very difficult. So the rings are still good. So this piston doesn't have any if any scoring other than this little thing here, but I don't really feel anything. So in a pinch, you could use this piston. But like I said, the connecting rod is too expensive to buy, and it's $25, $30 for a new cam. And the block is unusable for reliability. Crankshaft is still okay. The journal is in pretty good shape. Like I said, governor is bad. The cam gear. I'll just put all this stuff in a box in case I need it. Label it 313707, and that's it. I'll sell the flywheel. I'll list the flywheel for sale because you can get good money for this. I sell a lot of these. The stator I might keep because I'm short on it. It's a good magneto. There's no bulging of it, right? You could also test and see if a magneto is good by using a multimeter. It's anything less than 2.5 ohms. If it's over that, it's good. If it's under that, it's bad. That's it. Everything else I'm going to chuck. I'm going to take some pictures of all the stuff I want to sell, put the rest in a box, and put it in my shed. Okay, these are the things I just took pictures of. Throttle bracket, the head, flywheel, crankshaft with the synchro balancer, the sump, the stator, that cover, it's in good shape, you know, and push rods, one aluminum, one steel. 313707. You guys can check my eBay store, link is in the description. So there we go. That's what's left of the 313707 Briggs single cylinder overhead valve engine that we took off of the Garden Wave by Troy built lawn tractor that we picked up with the sketchy truck for the first time. So it needs a new engine. It was exactly what I thought it was. Just going from how you strut the engine and the compression or lack thereof of it just spinning and spinning and spinning, but you didn't hear any of the connecting rod slapping against the engine, right? So you kind of knew that the brake was right at the crankshaft and the entire piston was pretty much at top dead center inside the bore sleeve, so that there was nothing preventing the crankshaft from spinning and not hitting anything. So it's a shame because the block is good with the exception of the mounting points for the starter. That's trashed. So you're gonna have starter reliability problems if that's not solid on there. Yes, I could probably try to put a helo coil in there or do some aluminum brazing, but honestly, starting a tractor takes up a lot of jolting torque. And if it's not solid, it's not gonna work. And it's not gonna be a reliable tractor or a reliable engine, you know? So it's worth more to me by selling the parts of it than to spend $120 getting the parts to rebuild it and maybe it'll work. So that's the thought process behind my saying I'm just gonna strip it for parts and sell it and then put another engine on the tractor. I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree with me. Let me know what you guys think if you would have tried to fix that engine, given the amount of costs for the parts to get it rebuilt and the starter mounting bolts into the threads. Tell me what you think about that, if you guys would have done it. But in my next episode, I'm gonna take my 20 horsepower Kohler Courage engine with the JB welded cracks in the back. Engine runs. The only thing is, sometimes it leaks out of those cracks, but now we JB welded those cracks and tightened up the top sump. Should be good to use. Not to mention the fact that that tractor's really old anyway, you know what I mean? Not planning on getting a whole lot of money for it, but if it runs good, I'll sell it. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining me on today's engine teardown of a Briggs 313707 single cylinder overhead valve engine. It was exactly what I thought it was, and I'm getting good at diagnosing these things. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining me, fellas. We'll see you guys all next time on Mowers and Blowers.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.